How can you know when God is talking to you, and how can you know it's you're doing what God is telling you to do? By constantly hearing. For example, you can recognize your mother's voice on the other side of the wall, even if there are 10 other women speaking there. I can't. What's the difference? You've heard your mother's voice so often, I haven't. We become familiar with the voice, and we can pick out that voice even if we don't see the face. So, I'll never forget this. I called a total stranger on the phone once, and he said, "Hello, Brother Zach." I said, "How do you know me?" He said, "I'm listening to you regularly on the on the internet." I was so amazed that he could pick out my voice without knowing my phone number, without knowing who was calling. So I realized that, is it possible to recognize God's voice like that? If I hear it so often, and where can I hear God's voice, where I'm sure it's God's voice? In the Bible. Here is one book where I can be absolutely sure it's God's voice. I keep on listening, obeying. I recognize God's voice in those other situations which are not written in the Bible. I recognize in my heart, that is God. Because I can recognize His voice from having heard and obeyed it here in Scripture. Okay.